In the previous spoiler, it was mentioned that Luo Feng had successfully completed the military merit quota set by the military system, officially leaving Taiwo's squad to venture alone into a more intense war zone to refine himself. Shortly after arriving at the new battlefield, he received a distress signal and did not hesitate to lend his aid. With Luo Feng's involvement, the previously deadlocked battle instantly reversed, and the Demon Clan's legion was beaten back relentlessly, falling into complete disarray and fleeing in panic. Nuolan Shan, who was originally overjoyed at having narrowly escaped death, was even planning to befriend this immensely powerful world master-level genius. After all, someone who could turn the tide at a critical moment was worth having as an ally. However, the moment he saw Luo Feng's face, the joy on his expression instantly froze, replaced by unmistakable fear and unease. He never expected that his lifesaver at this moment would be Luo Feng, the very person with whom he once had a deep grudge. Are you curious how, amid the perilous and continuous warfare of the extraterritorial battlefield, Nuolan Shan, who had fled here years ago to avoid Luo Feng's sharp rise and was then only at universe level, managed to survive thousands of years of battles and even grow into World Master level 3? The reason lies in his skill at winning people's trust. Cultivators in the extraterritorial battlefield are often filled with passionate resolve, easily forming bonds of life and death comradeship in the midst of the chaotic battlefield. Such comrades often choose to cover the retreat at critical moments to give their allies a chance to survive. Like Poison's seventh brother, who would rather die than regret protecting his comrades. Nuolan Shan, however, frequently earned trust through feigned sincerity, persuading others to sacrifice themselves for him while he seized the opportunity to escape. It was these repeated escapes, combined with ongoing fierce battles and the pressure of death, that pushed him beyond his limits and drove his growth. This was also one of the fundamental reasons why he chose to rush to the extraterritorial battlefield in the first place. After all, a comfortable environment would not force out potential, it would only widen the gap between him and Luo Feng. More importantly, the extraterritorial battlefield makes no distinction of origin or background. All cultivators at least universe level but below universe venerable level can enlist. Compared to the tightly controlled universe secret realms of the 5 human factions, its entry threshold is obviously much lower. Coupled with the life and death hardships of war, which help people break their limits and accumulate military merits, the extraterritorial battlefield was truly the most suitable and indeed the only path for Nuolan Shan at that time. His ideal development was to cultivate to a level where he no longer feared Luo Feng and even had the ability to threaten or retaliate against him. Even if this goal was difficult to achieve, he could still accumulate a large amount of military merit by killing enemies and earning merits on the battlefield. According to Nuolan Shan's original plan, he intended to amass substantial military merit in the extraterritorial battlefield, then exchange those merits for vast wealth, and use that to ally himself with a powerful faction, such as an organization similar to the one led by the King Blood Devil, to gain protection. Once successfully attached, as long as he did not violate the bottom-line restrictions, the Virtual Universe Company would not take the initiative to intervene. Furthermore, within a faction sheltered or controlled by a powerful figure, Luo Feng would find it difficult to act recklessly and kill its members. After all, doing so would be tantamount to openly challenging that strong figure's authority unless his own strength greatly surpassed theirs. Having broken through from universe level to world master level 3 in just a few thousand years, Nuolan Shan was quite proud of his cultivation speed. However, he never expected Luo Feng's growth speed to far surpass his own, even becoming incredibly powerful, giving him no time to accumulate wealth or complete his plan to gain protection. Now, without the shelter of any powerful faction, if Luo Feng wanted to kill him, it would be effortless. After careful consideration, Nuolan Shan ultimately decided to remain in the army to seek protection under the name of military regulations. According to these regulations, all soldiers must keep the virtual universe video transmissions synchronized throughout their service until retirement or leaving the extraterritorial battlefield. This rule not only facilitates the awarding of military merits based on individual performance but, more importantly, provides continuous surveillance. It effectively prevents any violations of military rules, such as secretly harming comrades. In this perilous extraterritorial battlefield, besides military merit that can be exchanged for wealth, spoils are also an important source of gain. Without military regulations, when faced with treasures worth a lifetime savings, it's uncertain whether anyone might become greedy, take reckless risks, or even kill for the treasure. With the virtual universe's full supervision, any collusion with alien races or harming fellow soldiers would be considered a capital offense and punished without mercy. Therefore, Nuolan Shan firmly believed that as long as he stayed within the army, even if the monitoring system occasionally malfunctioned briefly, Luo Feng could never openly kill him under public scrutiny. In other words, remaining in the army was like possessing a sturdy protective talisman, freeing him from the fear that Luo Feng would make a move against him. So, you might wonder why Luo Feng doesn't quietly use a Masha clan clone to kill Nuolan Shan. After all, Masha clan clones possess extremely strong disguise abilities. Once transformed into the appearance of an alien race, even a universe venerable's close inspection would hardly detect any flaws. Even if the clone's involvement were exposed afterward, it would only mean sacrificing one clone. The golden horned beast requires just a bit of energy to reform a new Masha clan clone. However, the truth is, he cannot do this. This is because the monitoring system on the extraterritorial battlefield is extremely sensitive. Any sudden appearance of a person or object, even the slightest change, will be instantly captured and locked onto by the system. When a Masha clan clone suddenly emerges from within Luo Feng's body, the monitoring system immediately classifies it as a soldier of the human faction. Since the Masha clan clone has not independently registered for military identity, all its actions are attributed to Luo Feng himself. Whether it is a servant or a guard, as long as it manifests from Luo Feng's body, Luo Feng bears full responsibility for its actions. This is why, whether it's the star-eating grass or the golden-horned beast killing enemies on the battlefield, the military merits automatically go into Luo Feng's military account. Meanwhile, Luo Feng himself does not have to worry about his clone's identity being exposed. Don't forget, his teacher is none other than the Primal Chaos City leader, the highest authority of the Virtual Universe Company. The entire extraterritorial battlefield monitoring system is constructed and controlled by the Virtual Universe Company, and Primal Chaos City leader holds absolute authority to modify access permissions to battle footage. Therefore, even if a Universe Venerable wants to review Luo Feng's battle footage to observe his growth and performance, what they see are only clips of his humans' battles. As Luo Feng's power grows extraordinarily, all his data permissions are classified as top secret, accessible to only a very few. This system effectively guarantees Luo Feng's privacy and safety, but it also means he cannot act recklessly against members of his own faction, whether human or allies, including Nuolan Shan. This is precisely the strongest confidence Nuolan Shan holds. However, Nuolan Shan is unaware that his little schemes have long been fully seen by Luo Feng, who has even devised countermeasures by a plan on how to kill him without violating military regulations. Two immortal army lords leading the legion, upon witnessing that Luo Feng's combat power far exceeded that of a typical world master and even subtly surpassed their combined strength, naturally didn't want to miss the opportunity to recruit him. Using the pretext of helping him familiarize himself with the environment and adapt to the combat atmosphere, they proactively invited Luo Feng to temporarily stay in the legion and march alongside them. Luo Feng agreed, seeing it as a chance not only to quickly adjust to the pace of the new region and accumulate practical battle experience for better planning of future operations but also to use the legion as cover to secretly monitor Nuolan Shan's every move. Meanwhile, the two immortal army lords shared a wealth of intelligence about the current region with Luo Feng, especially information concerning the Marquis Immortals. They repeatedly warned him, if encounter a Marquis Immortal, do not get attached to fighting, but the only option is to escape. It must be understood that although the gap in combat power between a peak immortal army lord and a low-tier Marquis Immortal is not significant, the real difference lies in the stability of the divine body and the resilience of the spiritual imprint within it. If one cannot completely destroy the spiritual imprint embedded in the opponent's divine body cells, even smashing their divine body into pieces is futile. The Marquis Immortal can still perfectly and infinitely reconstruct their divine body. Such a fight is meaningless and will only put oneself in danger. Especially when both sides are evenly matched and one has yet to attain an undying body, a direct confrontation could very likely lead to one's own demise. Therefore, when facing a Marquis Immortal, the only correct choice is to flee. Of course, they were unaware that Luo Feng carried strength comparable to a low-tier King Immortal. After half a month of reorganization and ceasefire, the two immortal army lords led their legions back into battle, with Luo Feng marching with them to continue searching for targets. Soon, Luo Feng again encountered energy-based lifeforms from the Demon Clan, the Corpse-Devouring Clan. But this time, he faced an alien army numbering over 10,000. Overall, both sides had roughly equal military strength, so the two immortal army lords and Luo Feng immediately decided to engage in battle. Nuolan Shan, as the sub-unit leader, also led his subordinate warriors at the universe level and domain master level to bravely fight the enemy. Although he had already reached World Master level 3, he still specifically targeted the weaker domain-level alien enemies. Whenever a peak world master retaliated, his comrades would come to his aid. This was one of the reasons he was willing to stay in the Legion. After all, on this perilous battlefield, merely possessing the strength of a low-tier world master was insufficient for survival, let alone surviving until retirement. If he wanted to advance to peak of world master level 9, it would take at least tens of thousands of years. You might wonder why it takes Nuolan Shan tens of thousands of years to grow from first tier to 9th tier world master, while Luo Feng, who seemingly just broke through, could reach the 9th tier peak in a short time. Doesn't that seem illogical? Actually, this is because Luo Feng is a core member of the Virtual Universe Company. All core members, after breaking through to a new level, can apply for a nutrition cabin free of charge, which rapidly boosts their physical quality directly to the pinnacle of that current level. This spares them from the lengthy years required by ordinary people who must slowly accumulate strength by absorbing universe energy. Thanks to this mechanism, core world masters can steadily reach the peak of world master in just a few hundred years. Also, don't forget that after Luo Feng broke through to the world master level, he spent about 300 years in the beginning universe practicing secret techniques intensively. 300 years in the beginning universe corresponds to nearly 1,000 years in the original universe. Naturally, Luo Feng had more than enough time for his body to evolve to the peak world master level. This benefit also applies to Hong and Lei Shen. Since they had joined the huge Axe Dojo and became core members, they too could enjoy the resource support of the nutrition cabins. If, like the geniuses Rong Jun and Bolin, they hadn't deliberately stayed at the universe level stage to cultivate for nearly 10,000 years, Hong and Lei Shen might have already reached the peak of the domain master level by now. In contrast, Nuolan Shan, lacking the resource support of the 5 human factions, had to rely on slowly absorbing universe energy by himself. This traditional cultivation method naturally took much longer and made his cultivation speed lag far behind Luo Feng's. Back to the story, Luo Feng's arrival clearly gave his side the advantage in immortal combat power. With a higher realm of the laws, Luo Feng even single-handedly confronted the enemy's immortal army lord. Although he successfully severely injured his opponent, he never managed to kill him. Meanwhile, Nuolan Shan seized every opportunity to fight fiercely and earn a large amount of military merit, while also keeping an eye on Luo Feng. He was puzzled why Luo Feng didn't use the star-eating grass to end the battle quickly. Despite his doubts, he still focused most of his energy on killing enemies. Suddenly, a sword energy strike came out of nowhere and instantly shattered Nuolan Shan to pieces. In his dying moments, he realized Luo Feng's intention where Luo Feng had cleverly guided the alien immortal's attack to deliver a fatal blow for himself. In this situation, the monitoring system found it difficult to judge whether Luo Feng acted intentionally, since this counted as self-defense. Even the soldiers present mistook it as the enemy's immortal army lord who killed Nuolan Shan. If you were Luo Feng, and Nuolan Shan was as insignificant as an ant, would you choose to let go of the hatred and spare him, or would you make the same decision as Luo Feng? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. After Nuolan Shan's death, Luo Feng continued to study how to kill a peak immortal army lord without using the star-eating grass. Although he had the upper hand and tore apart his opponent's divine body multiple times, despite some loss of divine power, the opponent remained difficult to kill. 2 immortal army lord comrades in the team saw this and suggested that Luo Feng immediately use the star-eating grass to completely consume the opponent after tearing apart their divine body. However, knowing that Luo Feng intended to practice with this method, they didn't interfere further. After all, a super genius like Luo Feng must have his own plans. Besides, he could suppress a peak immortal army lord single-handedly, while they had to fight together, clearly weaker than Luo Feng, so it was natural for them not to intervene too much. After the 2 immortal army lords joined forces to kill another peak immortal army lord from the alien side, they commanded their troops to continue fighting. Although the alien immortal army lord repeatedly torn apart by Luo Feng could reconstruct his divine body, his divine power gradually diminished with each tier. Seeing he was at a disadvantage, the alien immortal army lord chose to flee, but his speed was no match for the beast god phantom pursuit unleashed by Luo Feng. Left with no choice, the alien immortal army lord self-destructed but failed to harm Luo Feng. The beast god weapon Luo Feng used, combined with the attack style of the spiritual master lineage, kept him far enough away that the explosion had no effect. As the saying goes, without a leader, the dragons scatter. Once the enemy lost their immortal combat strength, their morale collapsed, and soldiers fled in all directions. The army formation broke down, leaving gaping vulnerabilities, ultimately resulting in a rout. Have you noticed that compared to the Demon Clan,
the human race's calls for help and reinforcements seem much quicker and more efficient? This is indeed true.
In fact, the Demon Clan faction is far slower at contacting allies than either the Automaton Clan or Human Clan. The reason lies in the fact that Demon Clan technology is far less advanced than that of the Automaton Clan and lacks a virtual universe system that covers the entire original universe as humans have. So, are you curious why, despite the Automaton Clan boasting the strongest technology among the races, they still cannot achieve a virtual world covering the entire original universe like the humans' virtual universe? Even with advanced technology, the energy consumption required to cover such a vast region comparable to a universe country is staggering, not to mention linking the entire territory of a clan. Throughout the entire universe, no species' technology can surpass the network coverage of a single universe country's virtual world, and the Automaton Clan is no exception. The reason the humans' virtual universe can break the distance limit and achieve infinite network expansion is that it is not merely a technological product, but a unique secret technique created by ancestor Yuan. This secret technique consumes almost no external energy because the virtual universe itself possesses the universe's origin. All operations occur naturally without additional energy support. Humans built their massive shared virtual universe system based on this secret technique, then digitally and technologically transformed it through a universe master-level intelligent lifeform. Thanks to its powerful computational ability, managing such a vast system and ensuring its stable operation is no problem at all. Therefore, in terms of the speed and efficiency of calling for and providing aid, the human race far surpasses the Demon Clan. If it were otherwise, how could the Demon Clan, with their obvious advantages in life gene level and size, fail to suppress the humans on the extraterritorial battlefield? Of course, this assumes that allies are nearby. Otherwise, no matter how efficient or intelligent the system is, if the distance is too great, it won't help. After all, distant water cannot put out a nearby fire. After Nuolan Shan perished, Luo Feng realized that staying in the army was no longer necessary, so he decisively bid farewell to the two immortal army lord comrades. Knowing that Luo Feng had his own plans, although reluctant to lose such a formidable warrior, they couldn't stop him and could only part ways with their blessings. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Wish you a wonderful day.